Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, from transportation curfew hours to allowing more Filipinos to travel, the government further eases restrictions to revive the economy. Also, is Metro Manila ready to shift to a modified general community quarantine? Vice President Leni Robredo claims there's an overkill on how government handled the burial of Baby River. And the implementing rules and regulations for the anti-terrorism law are now out, but some groups warn that some of its provisions remain unclear. Interior Secretary and COVID-19 Task Force Vice Chairman Eduardo Año joins us live. The Duterte administration is moving away from its Stay Home campaign as it calls on Filipinos to go out, spend, and shop. That's part of the government's efforts to breathe life into the economy amid a recession induced by the coronavirus pandemic. The eased restrictions include age limits for those allowed to go out from 21 to 60 to 15 to 65 years old. Authorities have also allowed Filipinos to take non-essential travel abroad and have encouraged them to visit malls and other commercial establishments. People can now travel freely between areas under general community quarantine and the more relaxed modified GCQ. Let's go straight to the source of the story. We have Interior Secretary and COVID-19 Task Force Vice Chair Eduardo Año. Secretary Año, welcome to The Source and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Pinky. Good morning. Good morning to our listeners and viewers also.
The economy, Secretary, is starting to open up more. There are less restrictions as agreed upon by the Interagency Task Force. Let's start with the 1 seat apart. This is now going to replace the 1 meter rule in public utility vehicles. Sir, do you have any apprehensions regarding this?
Well, actually, the time that we had a discussion last month, nagkaroon ng discussion kung babawasan yung 1 meter, iba yung situation noon eh. Ang outing daily cases in the NCR, umaabot pa na 1,200, 1,500. So ngayon, nasa 3 digits na lang tayo. No? Half na lang kahapon, 444 yung new cases. No? So ibig sabihin, almost more than half yung nabawa. So nag-change na yung situation. And makita naman natin very practical talaga yung 1 seat apart. No? Kaysa sirain mo yung configuration ng mga seating arrangement ng bus, ng train, ng LRT, MRT. Ang 1 seat apart, no, kasama yung minimum health standards, we can say safe, no, with the trend ng numbers ngayon. And the cabinet agreed, the IATF, as well as the private sectors, business sectors, na we can implement the 1 seat apart.
Because I remember, sir, there was a problem here way back, when you were saying at some point you and Secretary Duque were really pushing for this 1 meter rule instead of the easing it to 0.75. And then now you're saying it's because the cases have declined compared to when you were adamant about this 1 meter rule.
Yes. And likewise, at the time, 30% lang yung capacity nung naisasakay ng mga commuters, passengers. Ang target naman natin is 50%. So 1 seat apart is would really satisfy the requirement of 50%. Ang problema kasi natin nagbukas tayo ng mga negosyo, ng mga opisina, pero wala namang masakyan yung ating mga commuters, no? Ang atin namang pinagsisikapan dito, madagdagan pa yung mga transportation na mode. Like for example, yung motorcycle taxi, no? Very soon ay mapapayagan na to dahil nakapagpasa na ng resolution ng Congress at na-transmit na rin sa Office of the President and to the IATF. So kung ma-adapt yan as resolution sa IATF, then papayagan na rin yung motorcycle taxi in the near future.
When do you think this will happen?
Well, our IATF meeting will be on Thursday. No? So matatakal namin yan. And immediately naman kapag ma-adapt natin yan. Yan din naman yung requirement ni Secretary Tugade, no? Yung congressional resolution, which is naipasa na noong October 16. That was Friday. And adopted at the plenary.
Opo. And yeah, and then Secretary, you're talking about easing up the opening up the economy. Of course, we already know that even Secretary Roque was saying we have 50% of the economy open, and yet there's only 30% of transportation that's available. So there's obviously a disparity there. Railways also increasing now to 30%. We're looking at numbers, sir. With the numbers going down, are you at all even possibly concerned that with this one seat apart, the 30% increase in railways, could this possibly cause a spike in the number of infected cases daily?
We have to monitor closely and we have to watch if talaga, no? Kailangan meron din tayong monitoring dyan, pati sa transport sector. We have to check kung sakaling magkakaroon ng spike, surge, or new infections ay galing pa dyan sa transport o sa transportation. No? But for now kasi ang nakikita natin talaga yung pinanggagalingan ng transmission ay yung community, yung workplace, at occasionally also no, itong mga pagpunta ng mga tao sa palengke, sa groceries, no. So we will have to set up a monitoring system. Once naman na magkaroon bigla ng spike, we can always suspend all the easing of restrictions, no. Kailangan lang talaga dito pagbabantay. Pero ang pinakamalaking factor din talaga nakita natin dito, Pinky, yung pagsunod ng mga kababayan natin. Mas aware sila, mas conscious sila, at kahit saan ka pumunta, nakita mo talaga naka-mask, face shield. So natuto na rin tayo, and of course, no, ang ating mga LGUs, magagaling na rin sila sa pag-contact trace, pag-isolate. Sana tuloy-tuloy lang ito.
That's true, Secretary. Now you go around, you really see people wearing. Well, when I go around, I see people wearing face masks and face shields. Siguro nga po malaking tulong yun. But pag tinitingnan po natin yung numero, sabi mo, of course, we can go back to a stricter quarantine. Are you looking at the next 2 weeks beginning today to see how this will actually affect the number of infections? Yes.
Normally, ang pinagbabasehan kasi natin ay yung tinatawag na 2 weeks average growth at saka yung tinatawag nating daily attack rate, no. Mayroong formula diyan yung ating DOH, ang ating health sector. Doon nakita mo kasi kapag on a daily basis, minsan yung mga late reporting dumadagdag, so hindi mo makita. Pero kung every 2 weeks nakita mo one incubation period, then we can make the adjustment. Yan din yung reason bakit naging monthly na lang yung pag-issue natin ng classification or category. Pero pagka nagkaroon ng biglang spike, nagpapadala kagad tayo ng code teams together with DILG, yung madali namang na-analyze natin kung saan yung dapat bigyan ng atensyon ng ating IATF.
And the curfew hours, Secretary Año, the recommendation, of course, during that cabinet meeting was 12 noon, I think, to 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. What can this achieve, a shortened curfew hour?
Well, una-una, no, malaking tulong to sa ating economy kasi nga, yung ibang kumakain late night dinner, nagmamadali na yung umuwi kasi may curfew, at yung mga establishment naman, kung 10 o'clock yung curfew, 9 o'clock nako-close na sila. Now with the 12 to 4 a.m. curfew, at least kahit hanggang 11 o'clock, pwede bang bukas yung mga kainan natin. Yung mga hours naman natin ay exempted sa curfew. No? Ang talaga naman binabantayan ng curfew, itong mga hindi dapat na lumalabas at hindi naman talaga hours. No? Last night ay nagkaroon kami ng meeting with the NCR mayors at nag-agree naman sila to help our economy. Magkakaroon sila ng formal announcement anytime regarding their curfew hours. But of course,
I see.
Hindi yan agad-agad kasi merong ordinances na dapat silang i-amend. So until lumabas yung ordinances na yan, we can implement the restrictor or limited curfew hours.
So the Metro Manila mayors are keen on implementing the curfew hours from 12 to 4, sir?
Yes, but they are not actually totally what you call that or absolutely required, no. Depende kasi yan din sa situation ng COVID cases, no. Like for example, I believe Nabotas is hindi pa siya ano diyan, so
Ayaw po niya.
okay lang din naman yan, no.
Yeah, Mayor Toby Tiangco of Navotas already said he wasn't really keen on implementing this. In
Yes.
fact, sir, he added yung, apart from the curfew hours, itong age group na 15 to 65 na papayagan. I think at some point he called this absurd because number one, it defeats daw the purpose of distance learning. Kaya nga naiiwan yung mga estudyante sa bahay ay dahil ayaw mahawa. Tapos here is the cabinet secretaries recommending an age group lower than 18, which is of course 15 to 18, sir.
Well, the provision in the cabinet recommendation that was approved by the president says gradual expansion of ages 15 to 65 to be allowed to go out. So the word gradual expansion. So depende sa LGU. For Metro Manila, they are unanimous na 18 years old to 65 ang kanilang papayagan. No below 18 years old. Or other areas under MGCQ, pwede na yung 15 to 65. Depende din sa number ng affectations nila. But because they're MGCQ, more or less, okay na yung situation nila.
Okay. Sir, was there anything else discussed with the Metro Manila mayors last night?
Well, yung of course yung ating All Saints Day, October 29 to I think November 4 ay talagang sarado at nag-cap sila na 30% lang. And then of course they're already talking about what would happen this Christmas season. Hindi pa tayo ready na mag-celebrate ng mga Christmas parties. Yan siguradong babalik tayo sa spike, no? Like what happened in Europe also, no? Nagbukas ng bar yung iba, bar pa lang yon, nag-spike na sila. Now, the mall-wide sales, pinayagan na ng IATF na dati kasi bawal yung mall-wide sales. No? Makita naman natin when you go to the mall, konti din yung pupunta doon. Tsaka, napapractice yung social distancing or physical distancing. Mahigpit yung ating mga guards. Pagkahapon, nag-drop by ako sa isang mall, tinignan ko. Talaga yung mga security, may markings, at ino-observe nila yung linya. So that's really a good behavior and compliance of our citizens.
So wag na po tayo umasa ng mga Christmas parties, but mall sales will be allowed. Before I leave the topic, sir, and go on a break, I just wanted to ask you, sir, papaano po yung mga kababayan natin na patuloy nagtutweet about love is not tourism? I understand that outbound passengers are already allowed, pero ang gusto po nila ay inbound travel for unmarried couples and their families. They have been appealing countless times, Secretary, for this to be allowed. Malapit na ho kayang mangyari ito?
Yes, Pinky, no? Yung last IATF meeting namin, na-tackle na dyan yung resolution na yung outbound ay papayagan na. Yun naman talagang tinatawag na inbound na yung kanilang mga fiancé. Case-to-case basis siya. No? Naka-schedule na talaga yung kasal niyan. Then why not? Pero yung niluwagan natin muna, yung outbound. No? Marami rin kasing mga kababayan natin na gustong lumabas. Hindi naman yan para pupunta ng Disneyland o Statue of Liberty. Kasi dadalawin din nila yung kanilang kamag-anak na may sakit. Yung isa namang kababayan natin ay nag-aalala na baka palitan na siya ng fiancé niya kapag hindi siya makarating doon. Marami na kasing country ang nag-open. Basta ang requirement lang natin ay subject sila doon sa protocol na in-establish ng country of destination. And sa atin naman para sigurado na ang mga kababayan natin ay walang infection at the moment pag sumakay ng aeroplano. So they will be required to take antigen test before boarding there.
Mhm. Okay, pero sir, very quickly, paano po yung inbound? Yun din po kasi yung hinihingi nila, hindi lang outbound travel but also payagan na po yung inbound travel.
Well, there must be a request to our embassy abroad. No? Kung merong talagang, meron din naman kasi mga exemptions yan. Like for example, yung mga professional consultant in some construction projects here in the country. No? At meron pang mga personal humanitarian considerations. No? Pero sa ngayon, wala pa tayong
All right.
general rule dyan. Kaya
Resolution on this.
ano muna natin, no? Talaga i-screen natin kasi baka magdagsaan galing sa iba't ibang country. Importante talaga para ma-maintain natin yung
Okay,
border control pa rin for the meantime.
all right. Later we talk about controversy surrounding the burial of the detained activist infant daughter. We'll also discuss the anti-terrorism laws. The government releases its implementing rules. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our guest today, Interior Secretary Eduardo Año. Secretary, just one more question on the quarantine status. Are you confident? Are you positive? Nakikita niyo ho ba na ang Metro Manila will be further eased from GCQ to MGCQ soon?
Well, nakikita ko na kung tuloy-tuloy yung trend natin, there's a possibility na we can go to MGCQ. But kailangan dito talaga ay pagbabantay. Now, ang ating mga NCR mayors ay nagkaroon ng meeting because of the Christmas season na pwede magkaroon ng spike. Their position is continue the GCQ at magbubukas ng konting luwag pero GCQ pa rin. Mas mahirap yung niluwagan mo pagkatapos tsaka ka mag-iipit. No? Ang analogy natin yung malaking hose, no? Sinara mo yung malaking hose tapos nagbubukas ka ng gripo unti-unti para dumalo yung tubig. Pero pagka nag-MGCQ ka, binuksan mo na kagad yung malaking tubo at saka ka naglalagay ng gripo, baka pumutok yung mga maliliit na gripo. So, yun yung analogy natin na GCQ tayo, pagtapos bubuksan natin yung economy, unti-unti magluluwag tayo. Just like what Singapore is doing. No? Ang Singapore walang GCQ, walang MGCQ, but they dictate kung ano yung luluwagan. Like for example, pinayagan na nila yung wedding celebration doon, no? Kasi life-changing event yan, only good for 100 visitors, no? So ganun yung ginagawa nila. So I think that's logical.
Okay.
GCQ tayo then unti-unting luwag.
Secretary Año, I want to shift topics now on the issue on
Yes.
Baby River. Netizens have called out the government on the seeming lack of compassion during hindi lang po nung burial, during the wake and the burial of Baby River. Do you see any fault or shortcomings on the side of the BJMP or the police personnel na nagbantay po during the wake and the burial?
Pinky, the Nasino case is just a simple, ordinary case, no? Na masyadong na-blow up sa media. Remember na her detention is ordered by the regional trial court because she is facing charges of illegal possession of firearms and explosives. It is also the court who defined kung ano yung po pwede niyang gawin habang siya ay pinayagang bumisita sa burol ng kanyang anak. Our BJMP officers are professional people who are just doing their job. No, actually sila yung nalagay dito sa alanganin, nagkaroon ng provocation, no? The BJMP duty officers assigned to escort Nasino were insulted, harassed and verbally abused by these leftist groups, no, aligned with Ms. Nasino. So ibig sabihin, pinoprovoke ito para magkaroon ng sensation in public, in media. But kahit anong gawin mo dyan, yun lang talagang trabaho nila mag-escort. And isa pang nagkaroon ng provocation dyan, and suddenly she was interviewed by the media, no? Doon sa kanyang court order na dalawin yung anak niya, he is a person deprived of liberty, no? Hindi kasama yon. At saka it's a big no-no for our regulations. Now they try to assert that siyempre gagawin ng ating BJMP yung kanilang tungkulin, ano. And in so doing, ano, talagang nalagay din sa risk yung buhay ng ating mga BJMP officers. But nevertheless, pinatitingnan ko din kung meron sila naging violations dyan sa behavior nila para we will also what you call that, apply appropriate sanctions, no. But the way I saw it, talagang they're just doing their job properly. Sana maintindihan ng mga ng publiko yung tungkulin ng ating BJMP officers.
Very tense situation, really, Secretary Año. And there are also even people who are saying yung mga personnel na nandun ay ginagawa lang rin daw ang kanilang trabaho dahil yun po ang utos sa kanila. Ang gusto ko pong malaman, Secretary Año, kasama ho ba dun sa utos yung and this is not to lay blame dun sa mga taong nandun, yung mga BJMP and police, kasi nga po, they're just following orders. But even to grieve privately, Secretary, ay nakapalibot pa po yung personnel doon kay Nasino. Kailangan ho bang dumating hanggang dun sa puntong yon? And even, sir, dagdag ko na po, yung handcuffs, was it really necessary na the whole time na naka-handcuff siya?
Yan kasi talaga yung standard, Pinky, no? It was supposed to be a solemn occasion, and we also sympathize and condole with the family of Nasino. Pero hindi siya naging solemn dahil dinumog ng tao, dinumog ng media. If you are in the shoes of these BJMP officers, your primary objective is ensuring that the subject, not the PTL, will not be able to escape, number one, will not be also harmed, number two, and number three, yun, safely dapat maibalik siya doon sa custodial facility. Sa dami ng tao, mahirapan ka ng gano'n. I've been in that kind of situations before. No? When I was in the intel community, we used to escort high-value detainees, no, from the intelligence security group, bringing to the court. It's really very, very hard. And kawawa naman yung ating mga BJMP officers. Well, we regret what happened, no? Kasi pinagpiestan ito. But wala silang choice, talagang kailangan gawin nila yung trabaho nila. Kung sana rin nakisama din sana yung mga nag-attend ng wake doon, everything will be smooth, no? Kaya lang kasi, how can you, with those outnumbered yung ating BJMP officers doon, no? Talagang sobrang outnumbered. Tanggalan mo siya ng boses dyan at makalingat makatakas yan. Ang mga makukulong uli dyan, yung mga BJMP officers natin. And remember, no, sabi ko nga, no, ang utos na naman ng court ay dali siya doon, makiramay doon sa kanyang anak, tapos ibalik uli. Pero uncontrollable na yung crowd At saka alam mo, yung interview, hindi talaga yan po pwede sa mga PDL. No? It's a big violation of the regulations. So, yeah, just the same, we regret what happened, but I will stand by with my people in the PJMP. They're professional people. They don't have any personal or whatever vested interest. They're just doing their job professionally.
Secretary Año, we need to take another short break. We will be right back. Secretary Año, welcome back to the show. I want to clarify this. Have you ordered a probe, sir, into how this was handled by police personnel and BJMP officials, or are you looking at a possible probe?
Well, I already instructed the Chief BJMP, Jail Director Alan Iral, to look into the matter and see if we have lapses. There are lapses committed by our BJMP officers. And I am awaiting for the formal report.
Okay, but initially, sa mga nakita niyo, sir, do you see any lapses?
Sa nakita ko yung ating mga BJMP officers talagang sumunod lang sa tungkulin nila at wala silang personal agenda. Yun lang talaga ang kanilang trabaho. Madala ng ligtas at kung ano lang yung nakasaad doon sa court order. No? So I
Okay.
appreciate actually ang performance ng ating BJMB officers in that particular.
Secretary, just one last question on this. Si Asec Celine Pialago po of MMDA, meron ho siyang tweet that went trending yesterday po. Ang sabi ho niya, hindi lahat ng inang nakakulong ay nakapunta sa libing ng kanyang anak. Kaya yung mga sumisimpatya kay Nasino, pag-aralan yung mabuting dahilan bakit siya nakulong at kilalanin yung mabuti kung sino siya sa lipunan. Masyado ninyong ginagawang pang-drama serye sa hapon ang paghihinagpis niya. Tigilan ninyo. I guess, sir, just I wanted to find out from you, are comments like these necessary, sir?
Tama yun, Pinky, no? Hindi talaga lahat ay pinapayagan. In fact, kasama talaga yan. You are a person called person deprived of liberty. Hanggang hindi natatapos yung kaso mo, deprived of liberty ka. Kasama na yung mga ibang karapatan mo dyan sapagkat naharap ka sa kaso. This one is sensational kasi nga, ang daming grupo at and they went to the court. Many of their pleadings were also dismissed by the court, except yun lang yung remember na nasa hospital pa lang yung bata, gusto na nila makadalaw doon yung nanay, si Reyna. Pero hindi yan pinayagan ng korte at nang pinayagan niya yung makadalaw sa burol. So that's one big privilege talaga sa PDL, no? Hindi lahat ay napapagbigyan ng ganyan. Kaya nga sana naintindihan din ng mga kabilang side na nag-extend ng effort ang government dito para lang mapagbigyan yung tinatawag dito na yung demand or request ng grupo na yan. But sana wag na nilang abusuhin yan. They should be appreciative of that.
Interior Secretary Eduardo Año, sir, I wish we had more time. Di na po natin napag-usapan ang IRR ng ATA, but maybe another time, sir. Thank you so much.
Maraming salamat din, Pinky. At sa ating mga kababayan, sana tuloy-tuloy natin sa pagsunod ng minimum health standard. Tayo ang susi dito para sigurado nating matalo ang COVID-19 sa ating bansa. Salamat. Mabuhay po.
And thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.